What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Healthy Habits Podcast. I'm Neil,
And this is Raj.
and today we're going to be covering a super important topic. It's often overlooked in mainstream media. It's often overlooked pretty much everywhere you go, and that is the importance of sleep when it comes to your overall skincare routine. And you won't see a lot of this out there, and that's largely due to the fact that there's not a lot of money in it. You're not going to sell products directly for how many hours you're getting of sleep or other things like that. Instead, you're going to see a lot of advertisements based around creams and other things like that. But it's super important. It's the most critical thing that you can have. You've got to have it. So how's your day going, Raj?
It was amazing. Like, I'm in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and today being Sunday, like there was a big party in Avenida Paulista. It was crazy.
So yeah, guys, we're going to be covering the most important things when it comes to your skincare and sleep. It's a super important topic, so let's jump right in. The first, and these aren't in any particular order, but the first most important, in my opinion, is really sticking to a consistent sleep routine. And that means, as difficult as it is, going to bed at the exact same time every night, trying to stay within there. If you fall out of a day on a Saturday, or you fall out on a Friday, that's fine. But understand, if you're not sticking to a consistent routine, you're going to see a lot of issues in your overall skincare. That means your skin is going to look more dull. It's not going to look as radiant, and it's not going to look as smooth as it otherwise would, because your body's not going to be able to recycle. It's not going to be able to repair, and it's not going to be able to restore. So whenever you are going to sleep, you've got to find a routine. And ideally, we recommend that if you are going to take a day off, you only take one day off. There's a lot of studies that show that just having some sleep deprivation can affect you 3 and 4 days down the line. That means if you are going out on a Thursday and you didn't get enough sleep on a Sunday, your skin is not going to look as radiant. And that's going to be super important, super critical down the line. And I know Raj has had to deal with it a lot, but it's incredibly important.
Like you could be an office worker, or you could be going to school or college. Like, like when you are going to school, your schedule, and when you are coming back. So schedule your social activities, and with the time you wake up and the time you go to bed. Like, make sure that you get enough time during the weekdays for sleep, and then the weekends, like, they are not less important. Like, you need to be super on top of this too. Like, you might think like, okay, it's just a Friday, it's just a Saturday, but like Neil said, like, the sleep depth is a real thing. Like,
and we're not saying this is easy. Like, this is not easy to do, but if you're trying to have crystal clear skin and you're really focused on what we're focused on the Healthy Habits Podcast, you've got to find a way to have some sort of a balanced line in your overall sleep schedule. And if it starts looking like a hilly mountain, then your face is also going to start looking like a hilly mountain.
Yeah, like you'll have that puffiness around beneath your eyes, or you have these dark circles. You start getting these wrinkles. You might be 20, 25, but you start looking like 40, 50 years old.
We've all seen it, right? Like, we've all seen the people who are consistently going out. They're consistently having a sporadic and inconsistent sleep schedule, and it just diminishes the quality of their skin by and large. And it's not a good look.
Yeah, stick to a consistent sleep schedule, like 6 to 7 days a week. Like, try to stick to a routine and stick to it. Like, be consistent.
Again, it's not easy, but you've got to find a way to balance that out and really have that in line. Raj, you want to get into the next point?
Sure. You have to have some kind of a routine where you become self-aware of your energy and your vibe. Like, are you feeling energetic? Are you feeling like hyper before you go to bed? or are you getting more and more relaxed? So you need to have
Yeah.
like a pre-sleep routine for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, like when we're looking at the overall routine, there's some things that you can do to really optimize. And obviously, the biggest thing is going to be limiting your blue light exposure and limiting your on-screen time on your phone.
Yeah.
There's a lot of studies that have come out lately that around 95% of Americans just before bed are using their phones, and that's crippling your ability to fall asleep. So ideally, we recommend 30 to 45 minutes before bed. Find some way to wind down. It could be reading a book, it could be meditating, it could be doing anything that's not an on screen activity, as difficult as that is. And if you have to do an on-screen activity, if you absolutely have to, try to at least spend 10 minutes before going to bed in on a less intense activity. And that could mean staying away from stress from work, even thinking about that. It can mean staying away from stressful people and not working on that. It's anything that's really just going to put you into a relaxed mode. You've got to put that in place and set up that wind down routine so that you're not in bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, still thinking about the thing that's agitating you.
Yeah.
And I know Raj's done it, I've done it, where you're stressed about something. It could be something about work, it could be something in your relationships, and you find yourself still laying in bed, still thinking about it. It's 12 a.m., and that cycles over the next day. You wake up and your skin is just completely poofed up, or it's just not the way you want it to be. It's doled out. Um, and it's just it's not a good look.
Yeah. Like use technology like these days, like software in your phones. It helps you like go to bed early and go to bed relaxed.
And set up the
For
routines. Yeah.
example, yeah, set up routines like turn off notifications on your phone. Like you don't need to know new emails or new messages from strangers, like waking you up or keeping you excited, like just before you go to bed.
Yeah.
And yeah, reduce the blue light exposure. Like make it very difficult for yourself to get excited just before you go to bed. Like just
Yeah.
get into the relaxation mode. That's important.
All right, guys. So point 3 is going to be creating a comfortable environment where you're going to sleep. Um, Everyone's gone to bed in a bed that is super, super uncomfortable. Um, we've all had it where we're laying in the bed, we can't fall asleep, and when we do wake up, we are groggy, cranky, we didn't get the sleep we want. And that's going to have a direct impact on your overall skincare. You've got to make sure that your bed is super, super comfortable. And you've also got to make sure that it's optimized for your skincare. And that includes getting rid of those linen sheets, those cotton sheets, and replacing them, your pillowcase, with a silk pillowcase, something that's smooth. There's a lot of studies out there that if you have a silk pillowcase, you're likely not going to have as much acne. It's going to be better for your overall skin. You're not going to have as many fine lines or wrinkles. Overall, you've got to find a way to really make the environment that you're sleeping in comfortable. For me, it includes having blackout curtains so I don't have light strobing in. But at the end of the day, it's got to be comfortable, relaxing, and an environment where you can quickly fall asleep and stay asleep. And Raj and
Yeah.
I have had it where even like where we've been on trips and there's been beds that have just been incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah, like we experienced so many different beds because we traveled so much. We stayed in so many Airbnbs, in so many beds. Like you literally can see like
Yeah.
each bed is different, and some beds are too hard,
And
some beds are too
there was a bed
soft.
that we had that
Yeah,
we saw that was so uncomfortable that we would wake up, we would look terrible. We would wake up and our
yeah,
skincare would look absolutely abysmal. Our skin wouldn't look clear. And on top of all that, we'd be groggy. And it's
yeah,
really just it speaks to the importance of making sure that the bed is optimized for you. And a lot of times we don't even know that a bed is bad for us until we start trying another bed. So it's just going to be super important in any of this that you're finding stuff that is comfortable for you and that works well for your body.
Yeah, and also be aware of the temperature in your room as well as the humidity. Sometimes it's too humid, sometimes it's too dry. So you might buy like a humidifier if it is too dry, so that like you can keep it like very comfortable for your skin.
Yeah, and you really want to have your temperature be very like at least within the 60s. Tim Ferriss recommends, I believe, 67 degrees. You want to have the temperature somewhere far below what you're normally accustomed to. It really helps your body kind of go back into like more of a restful and kind of a deep sleep from the studies that I've seen. But also having a humidifier so you can breathe more easily, as Raj said. All these things are important, but you at the end of the day, you have to find something that is the most comfortable for you. And you have to implement it. And again, just like point one, you have to stay consistent to that schedule. And that leads us into the point that no one wants to cover, of course, and that is you have to get rid of the alcohol and the caffeine 4 to 6 hours before bed. I can't tell you how many people I know who are drinking caffeine at 6 p.m., 5 p.m., and they're running into issues where they can't fall asleep quickly. They're waking up, their skin doesn't look as good. They're running through breakouts. And the same thing with alcohol. If you're looking to have radiant and vibrant skin in the first place, you typically should stay away from alcohol unless it's a very minor amount of red wine. And so overall, you've got to just flat out avoid alcohol is what our recommendation is. And as far as caffeine goes, you've got to stay away from it, like before bed.
Yeah, like sometimes you don't know like even where this caffeine is. Like it is even in Coca-Cola. Like you might be thinking like I'm just drinking Coca-Cola. It's nothing. You're having your pizza, you're having your Coke, but then you look at your Fitbit the next day and you see that, oh, I just had like 4 hours of sleep or 5 hours of sleep. Like what happened? Like literally you had caffeine in the evening or late night, and then it disrupted your sleep routine. So be aware of the alcohol or the caffeine presence in whatever you drink in the evenings and in the nights.
If you guys are gonna do it, because I'm sure a lot of people are gonna do it, there's a number of ways to try to get it out of your system quickly. There's a lot of different supplements you can look into. But overall, like our recommendation is try to avoid it if at all possible. Just like the keeping your routine accurate, try to limit it to it like just one day of the week. If you're getting into 2 and 3, you're going to suffer problems down the road. And those problems might not be visible immediately, but they're going to cause systemic damage to your skin over the long run, and that's not something that you want to do.
Yeah, I think that takes us to the next one, the skincare routine before bed. Yeah, for sure. Like I think this is super important. Like I think especially for guys, we usually don't put that much thought process into like a routine before we go to bed. Like we just like wash our face and that's all we do. But there is a lot more I think that can be done by guys. So follow these tips, guys, and I think you'll start seeing results very, very soon. And in our upcoming videos, we'll talk about more things, healthy habits, like be it diet, be it nutrition, be it vitamins. We'll talk about all of those things. We'll cover them for you.
Yep. So guys, like the video if you like the content, and give us a subscribe if you want to see more in the future. And we'll see you soon.
See you guys.